Lifetime. For a good long while, this network for women offered original programming like supermarket-themed game shows for family, homemaker women, WNBA games for sportier women, Dr. Ruth for women interested in sex therapy, which at the time was a topic hard to come by on a media platform. You combine that with reruns of popular female skewing sitcoms and syndication, and it'd be hard to argue that this couldn't possibly be a haven of entertainment for most, if not all, types of women. So why are the made-for-TV movies so batshit insane?
I Me Wed, the story of a woman who marries herself. I don't know either.
Death of a cheerleader, with alternate title, A Friend to Die For.
Drew Peterson, Untouchable, starring Big Bang Theory's Kaylee Cuoco.
A Face to Kill For.
To Be Fat Like Me, starring The Big Bang Theory's Kaylee Cuoco.
A Job to Kill For.
The Pregnancy Pact, starring, you guessed it, The Big Bang Theory's Kaylee Cuoco.
Cyber Seduction, His Secret Life. What the hell? Porn addiction? What the?
My Stepson, My Lover. It's exactly what it sounds like.
Baby Monitor, Sound of Fear?
Girl Positive, starring AIDS. What the hell?
Mother, May I Sleep With? Danger.
Endless trash!
So you might be wondering why these movies are so trashy when the rest of their programming seems pretty harmless and, you know, all-encompassing. It's because unlike their programming, their TV programming, their made-for-TV movies seem to be kind of honed in on like a single demographic. And that demographic is namely this woman. Today we're gonna be looking at one of these in particular. It's a laughably bad, syphilis-riddled crapster piece known as She's Too Young. You don't wanna miss this. It's a review of a lifetime. Shut up, Neil. Hey everyone, my name is Steven. I am the head writer here at Sweetweenie, and for this inaugural episode of Review of a Lifetime, I wanted my first guest to be Neil. He's kind of our behind-the-scenes Renaissance man. He does everything from directing actors, to editing, to camera operating, to lighting and gaffing and all that stuff.
Oh, you're gonna make me blush, stop.
Oh, well, let me keep going, you handsome devil.
Literally stop.
Okay.
But in all seriousness, man, thank you for having me on as the first guest for Review of a Lifetime. It's an honor, and I feel really appreciated. It's great, and like really from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say, I got it. I really am just honored to work on scripts masterfully written by someone of your caliber, being able to direct such fine works as The Horroring and Honey Mustard with Steven gave my uneventful and insignificant life purpose.
Thanks, Neil. You're a really swell guy too. Thank you. And if you're interested in any of those videos or any of the other ones I didn't write, then, you know, just obliterate those like and subscribe buttons. Just get drunk and beat it in a back alley somewhere. I don't know. I'm not your mom.
Okay, so let's actually get down to the task of talking about She's Too Young. Now, the Amazon.com film review of this is, and you're gonna have to forgive me, I didn't memorize this at all because why would I? A suburban mom is stunned to find her 14-year-old daughter is part of a group where casual sex is the norm. And she's shocked to discover the town's indifference to the problem. But this is a fight that no parent can afford to lose.
But if the town's indifferent to the problem, clearly some parents can afford to lose it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But you know, don't put it past that. Also, I'd like to point out that there is a syphilis outbreak in this movie. That's literally 2/3 of the movie. So I guess that, you know, Rex Reed reviewed this fell asleep and missed that entirely.
But then again, Neil, I mean, we're talking about your target Lifetime movie audience viewer here. Is the threat of a syphilis outbreak really comparing to casual sex in high school?
Ew. The movie opens to a shot of a girl who is, in actuality, too young, leading to a montage designed to make conservative women clutch their pearls as girls dance about to music about sex. Which is stupid because we all know that sex wasn't invented until 1993 with the release of Jurassic Park. Such over-sexualized musical acts as Hot and Wet and the Pillow Boys?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I Googled it, and apparently there's an anime, and it's really pink. Like a lot of pink and pretty boys, and it's a pretty boy anime.
Just saying that put you on like 5 different lists.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah, the soundtrack really sets the generic mood of a Lifetime movie with quite possibly the blandest pop song I've ever heard.
You have my attention.
Roll the clip. It's like if Al Gore was testing out that machine from The Fly, and he had no idea that Radio Disney was in there with him.
The main 3 high school girls, Hannah, Dawn, and Becca, are all meeting up with Becca's current boyfriend, Nick, for a night out.
Hey, girlfriend. Let me look at you.
Dawn's mother is more the cool mom trope, but Hannah's mom, Trish, is a little bit more like she got lost on the way to the town from Footloose.
Hey, you want me to drive?
No, that's okay. Nick Hartman's driving.
How old is he?
He's 16.
I'm Trisha Vogel. I'm Hannah's mother.
It's nice to meet you, Mrs. Vogel.
I'd like your mother's number, please.
Mom!
She's wearing that much makeup to go out and get ice cream?
I mean, she's a straight-A student. She plays that cello 90 hours a week. I think she deserves a break once
It's
in a while.
not about that. I am still uncomfortable with her driving around with
Look,
boys.
we either trust her or we
We
don't.
don't know anything about this kid.
I think she's earned our trust.
All right, so we've been introduced to our first character that has a Y chromosome. So you know what that means. It's time to play Guess That Trope!
Yay! Okay, I like Bill. He's putting a lot of trust in his daughter, you know? He's trusting her to make her own choices, make her own mistakes. You know, sure, it's an older boy, but, you know, like, she's been working hard. She's been working at the cello, she's been getting good grades, and he feels that she deserves a reward for her hard work. And you know what? It really shows that he's trusting he and Trisha's parenting. You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna say that he is likable. Oh, come on!
I'm sorry, Steven. The correct answer is he's wrong.
What? But
Wrong. Everything he does and says is wrong.
okay, like if you've seen any sitcom, you have seen this scene. This is the scene where conflict is presented, the main character chooses not to take the advice, and things are only gonna get worse, you know? Like, and I'm not dogging on it, like, you know, every show does this, you know? It's like, oh no, Robert, I wanna get, you know, play some golf on my anniversary. I don't know, Raymond, maybe I don't know, Raymond. Maybe you should just tell Deborah so that you can like go golfing and then celebrate your anniversary later. She might be mad, but it'll only be worse if you try to lie and hide stuff from her. No, Robert, I have an idea. I can somehow maneuver things around, and if history has shown anything, it's that I always get away with the stupid crap that I try to pull.
Okay, but here's the thing. Lifetime movies aren't about character arcs. They're not about like conservative upper class white women learning the errors of their ways and trying to become better people. The conflict of the film comes from other people failing to realize until the very end just how awesome those conservative upper class white women are.
I think she's earned our trust.
White girls, ruining rap music since 1997. Nick might be too busy with Becca to notice the overachieving snowflake that is Hannah Vogel, but a true gentleman like Brad knows a lady worth courting when he sees one.
Hannah, you want to come listen to the new Kingpin Pimp CD with me in my car?
Ooh, Brad, I'm flattered, but you know I don't go for them East Coast rapists. I'm a West Coast girl, and I dig on that West Coast Pillow Boys jam. West Coast, Best Coast Pillow Boys!
That was embarrassing for everyone.
I love Kingpin.
Awesome, let's go.
Dawn leaves Hannah to go with Brad, and we cut to the next day. In other news, the camera operator called in sick, so his son filled in for him.
Come on, give me a break. He's creepy.
Yeah, okay, fine. So post scary.
Hey. Later. He's so gay.
They're just so much.
All right, Steven, another male character. Time to play
Guess That Trope! Yay. Okay, Tommy, man. He creeps me out, man. He is clearly taking pictures of Hannah when she's not looking. He's friend zoned so hard. He's probably got a wall of photos of Hannah, like, in his garage somewhere. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that he is your average Lifetime movie murder rapist. Oh, come on! What?
Tommy's likable? He's the one that you want her to end up with?
No, that dude is murder rapist. You're telling me he doesn't have a wall of photos of Hannah in his house?
I'm not saying he doesn't, okay?
What? I mean, it's totally cool.
Didn't you read Ready Player One?
While things are looking up for Hannah scoring a date with popular guy Nick, Dawn, on the other hand, is receiving the unfortunate diagnosis that sore in her mouth is none other than Big Daddy syphilis.
Look, I'm not here to judge you, Dawn. But I need to know how many boys you've had sex with. 15? Maybe 20? You had sex with 20 boys?
Sounds pretty judgy to me.
Nick Hartman, my candidate for patient 0.
Okay. Let's start with him.
As Nick is being identified as the main culprit spreading the horrible disease, Hannah's second date with him ends with Nick guilt-tripping a blowjob out of her. So, Steven, are you ready to play Guess That Trope?
He's evil.
Yeah, he's pretty bad, actually. Yeah.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
You know, you can tell people if you want.
What? So now the whole school's gonna know I went down on you?
Hey, this could really boost your reputation.
I usually wait until the 5th date to tell a girl that, but I guess Nick, he's just old-fashioned.
After finding out Nick doesn't view sex the same way she does, Hannah hops on her favorite not AOL Instant Messenger and is invited over to Becca's house the next night to babysit Becca's little brother.
Noah, are cheerleaders hot? Hot, hot, hot. Are cello players hot too? Hot, hot, hot.
This is the first time since Dawn's diagnosis that she's seen her friends. Broaching the subject is going to require a degree of subtlety that only a 14-year-old girl can muster.
Let's watch.
Hey, guess what, guys? I have syphilis. What?
I have syphilis.
Okay, in all honesty though, the girl playing Hannah really does deserve an Emmy because, like, let's be real, the only correct way to respond to this
Hey, guess what, guys? I have syphilis.
is...
What?
Dawn tries to warn her friends to go get tested, but it only results in Becca being a f***ing batch.
And well, people like us don't get syphilis.
I did.
Yeah, well, you did some really nasty guys.
I did the same guys you did.
And like half the basketball team.
Dawn departs for the night, leaving Hannah and Becca to hang out with Nick and Brad. When Brad suggests that the four of them watch porn and all have sex with each other, we are only 40 minutes into this movie, folks.
Don't worry. Brad's gonna be good to you.
Hannah starts really questioning her life choices and bails, leaving Becca with a devil's triangle.
Apparently the idea of sharing one girl doesn't really seem to bother these two walking cans of Axe body spray.
Yeah, these two are by far the most sexually open-minded high school boys in 2004 I've ever seen. What?
Hannah heads home to tell Tommy he was right about Nick, and okay, wait, we're sure he's not a murder rapist? That's reassuring.
Nick is then summoned to the school clinic. When he quickly loses his patience, the specialist decides to just throw confidentiality out the fucking window and just tell the whole waiting room that he has a plague disease.
Straight up, been exposed to syphilis.
So give me my magic bullet, and we're done here.
As you may know, it's a highly contagious disease. You may have infected others.
This may be the worst doctor we've seen in a movie, and we're counting Nurse Joker.
Look, Mr. Hartman.
But if you want my advice, you better stick them all, because I probably did.
When the school starts cracking down on this syphilis/casual sex epidemic going around, the students don't take it too seriously, least of all Becca with her over-controlling mom.
Mom, what is your problem?
Have you been with a boy?
Okay, am I still a virgin? Is that what you mean? Of course I am, Mother.
You lie!
Becca tells her mother Dawn has syphilis, which results in Dawn's mother realizing that she can't always be the cool mom.
You see me leave every night. You practically get off on the guys calling all the time. What did you think I was doing?
You know we can talk about anything.
We can, but I can't come home from school with, guess what, Mom? I've got syphilis.
Hey, guess what, guys? I have syphilis. What?
Get in line, slush.
With it, or you can get lost. Take it all. Take it all. Girls get with it, or you can get lost. Syphilis, man.
All right.
I want to talk about the rap music in this movie.
Are you even qualified to do that?
Shut up, we're doing it.
Okay.
When you
Fellas,
get
I'm feeling you and you too.
take it all. Take it all. Girls get with it, or you can get lost. Take it all. Take it all.
Throughout this movie, when it's not generic pop music, there's this recurring theme of rap. More often than not, it's this song that plays during this scene, as well as the one from the beginning, but just listen closely.
Girls get with it, or you can get lost. Syphilis.
We realized a handful of things about this movie through this scene. One, the song has lyrics like T.O., take it off, L.A., N.Y., Switzerland. We can only imagine T.O. refers to Toronto, in keeping with L.A. and New York getting similar treatment. But Canada is not really known for its street cred, so it's pretty safe to assume this movie was made in Canada based on that craptacular rap lyric. Which makes a whole lot of sense if you consider how tone deaf a lot of Canada's PSAs have been in the past.
What is that? It's a rape whistle.
Two, apparently that song that the girls were rapping to at the beginning of the movie happens to be about syphilis.
Girls get with it, or you can get lost. Syphilis.
Three, this movie clearly doesn't want you to have a good opinion of rap music. Like, a lot of scenes will end with like two parents just having a conversation about their kids. Like, we just gotta trust our kids to make responsible choices, and I think they're gonna do it. And then we just immediately cut to kids partying, and the music in the background is like, you can eat a dick, bitch, and suck my nuts.
Take it all.
This is dog whistling, right? This is dog whistling. Hannah realizes she has a mouth sore just like Dawn's, and as she receives the cure along with the other students, the movie weirdly starts doing its best impression of the music video to Gangsta's Paradise.
So after Trish narked on all the other kids' parents about the casual sex epidemic going around, and Hannah starts getting drunk off of wine coolers because, you know, syphilis just is way too low of stakes for a movie like this, Hannah and Tommy seem to be hitting it off at school the next day, but it's pretty short-lived as Brad comes in and just starts complaining about Trish's narking.
You tell that mother of yours to mind her own damn business. So if she shows up on my porch, I'm gonna wreck your world. Careful, you might crush the few brain cells you've got left. Dude, that is so gay, man.
To the film's credit, as much as it whomps, and believe me, it does accurately portray the experience of any high school boy who is definitely not fluent in locker room talk.
Most boys think you suck dick if you're not a kid with syphilis. So Hannah and Tommy seem to be hitting it off pretty well. Trish, doing some snooping on her daughter, winds up at Brad's party looking for her, and she's just getting lost amidst all the drugs and the rap music and the granny panty porn that all the kids are doing these days. Things don't look too good for Hannah though, because Brad happens to see Trish at the party on his metaphorical porch.
Have you seen Hannah Boho? I'm looking for my daughter.
No, she's not here.
Hannah and Tommy are getting really hot and heavy, but Tommy is not quite ready to go that far yet.
Why not?
Because we don't know what the hell we're doing. And because we have like ages of time to see if this is really what we want.
When a teenage boy wearing a Christmas sweater tells her he'd rather wait, Hannah doesn't take it very well and goes to look for her friends.
Meanwhile, despite Dawn and Becca seemingly being friends again and getting rid of their syphilis, Becca decides to have fun with the two guys ogling her from afar before being grounded indefinitely. So much like any sane person watching this movie, Becca learns nothing.
Hannah goes to the party Trish was previously at and asks Brad if he's seen her friend Becca. Brad proceeds to lure Hannah into the basement, slap her, and attempt to rape her when there's literally only 5 minutes left of the movie.
Jesus Christ, Lifetime?
Hey, Brad! Smile!
Tommy shows up, snaps a picture of Brad in the act, and threatens to send that pic to 911. Assuming, of course, it's a picture of Brad attempting to rape her and not one of the creepy stalker pictures he has of Hannah on his phone.
Yeah. Get out of here.
Hey, Tommy. Thanks for calling.
No problem.
So this is where the movie goes from funny and campy territory into it can go f*** itself territory.
I'm so sorry I put you through this. I know, honey. I know. We're all gonna do better. All of us.
Yeah.
This is the note the movie essentially ends on. Hannah apologizes to Trish, not the other way around.
I'm so sorry I put you through this.
Trish does not apologize. She says,
I know, honey. I know.
what this says to their audience is that if anybody deserves an apology in this movie, it's Trish.
Trish is the victim here, and we need to know that Trish was right all along.
All right, let's take a quick look at the scoreboard here, okay? The first guy that Hannah ever gets intimate with unapologetically gives her syphilis,
I'm so sorry I put you through this.
breaks her heart, peer pressures her into an orgy involving one of her best friends.
I'm so sorry I put you through this.
After Trish narcs on all the kids, Hannah becomes ostracized by her peers, flat out threatened by Brad, who then beats her, overpowers her, and attempts to rape her.
I'm so sorry I put you through this. I know, honey. I know.
My God. Is Trish gonna be okay?
I don't know, Neil. I mean, it's gonna be touch and go for a little while. I mean, she's been through a lot. You know, what with PTA meetings and talking to kids' parents and wandering around at a party.
It's a good thing Hannah apologized then, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, what could have been, right?
Don't want to live in that world.
Oh God, no.
Steven, what's wrong? Friend?
I don't know, Neil. I mean, is it possible that Trish's, how do you say, meddling?
You mean concern for her daughter?
Right, of course, Is it possible that Trish's concern for her daughter may have led her down a path that, I don't know, pissed off a guy that wound up attempting to rape her daughter?
Okay, but help me out here. Trish is the victim.
Right.
Why would the non-victim apologize to the victim? Picture it with me, Steven. Does Bruce Wayne experience a lifetime of guilt just because he's the one that led his parents to the very place they were shot and killed? So what if Trish poked the bear and that bear later attempted to rape her daughter? What does Trish have to be sorry for? Think about it. Hannah's too much of a social pariah at her school to be invited to anything taking place outside of the length of Trish's arm. Syphilis was cured in 1943, and now that Hannah's apologized for nearly being raped, they can finally be a family again. You smelling what I'm cooking? Rewatch Spider-Man and tell me that Uncle Ben doesn't owe Peter an apology.
Neil, just when I thought that this movie couldn't be less sensitive to rape victims, you go and phrase it like that. And totally open my eyes!
Thank you! Ugh, finally.
I'm so sorry I put you through this. I know, honey. I know.
She's too young and just
And how? Now, Steven, let me be the first to tell you that the first 98% of this movie was a lot of fun to laugh at and poke fun at. But those last 5 minutes can go f themselves.
Agreed. Wholeheartedly, Neil.
Want some ice cream?
No, thank you.
Chocolate chip?
So this movie came out in 2004 and for some reason felt syphilis was relevant enough to talk about.
You're probably wondering why it's not something a little less completely cured, something like AIDS.
Walker told me I have AIDS.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big thing for me. And it's a horrible disease, but the fact that it's cured is like if the conflict of the movie was, oh no, that glass of wine's gonna spill.
The problem is that Lifetime executives want to have it both ways. They want to have their cake, but they also want to eat it too. See, what they want to do is they want to have the happy ending where everyone learns their lesson, or doesn't, and everyone gets cured from the syphilis. But they also want to include the finger wagging about the dangers of casual sex. And also, let me go on record as saying that anyone who's watching this movie, I can guarantee you, is not even dreaming of having casual sex. So who is this aimed at?
Yeah, it's very weird. They want the good things to happen to good people, bad things to happen to bad people. But there's a scene where Nick goes to the clinic and is like, hey, again, the doctor or the specialist is like, hey, you have a plague disease. You should probably get that checked out, or we should probably do something about that. And he's like, sure, boom, just give me the shot. And he's being a dick, but he's not wrong. We have the cure. Just give him the cure.
Yeah.
It's such a weird thing, and I want to go on the record by saying that we made a big stink about Trish, but by no means do we want to say that Brad is not the bad guy of this movie. Clearly he's the villain, he's the bad person, he's the one we really should be mad at, or at least for the more obvious reasons. But Trish and that whole thing is just one of those when you stop and think about it, because remember that whole stupid Everybody Loves Raymond bit I went on?
Yeah, I loved it.
This movie is set up to follow that formula. That whole that scene sets up hey, maybe if you don't involve yourself in your daughter's life, maybe things will kind of work out. And that's for the most part what would have happened. The only contributions to the plot Trish adds are literally narking on the other kids, which makes Hannah less popular at school, and pisses off the guy that attempts to rape her later. The movie would have gone, for 98%, would have gone the same way. She would have gotten syphilis, she would have gotten cured of it, she still would have a lot of her friends, but you add Trish to that and she nearly gets sexually assaulted.
It's almost like Trish is the problem in the movie.
It is. It is.
Would you equate Trish in this film to the shark in Jaws?
In that the less you see of it, the better the movie is.
Yeah, exactly. Which is not a knock against Marsha Gay Harden.
No.
She's, an Academy Award-winning actress who gets saddled with this really awful project. I mean, she's doing the best she can, I guess.
She plays that curmudgeon-y mother really well.
She's got a real type, and she plays the hell out of it.
Yeah, it's just weird when you think about like how problematic it is that you could just easily take that character out. Another big thing is that this movie, it doesn't really provide any answers to the big questions.
No.
And like I want to read this because like I'm kind of noticing this for the first time. But on the back of the box it says, "What happened to her daughter could happen to yours," and it's very fear-mongering, and it's very. Like there's a scene where like the PTA talks about it, and this one woman's like, "Well, clearly we got to be teaching abstinence only," which is admittedly what I thought the movie was going to be doing. But no, it's like that's not going to work. But if we talk to our kids about sex, they're just going to hate us more. So the movie doesn't answer the question of how to deal with this. It's just be afraid that your kids are having sex younger.
I mean, it's true to their demographic, so.
Yeah.
So, as you can see, most of these kids have had multiple contacts. 20, 40, in some cases, over 50 sexual partners.
All right, I want to talk to the kids for a second here.
All right.
All right, kids. We've had a lot of fun here today, but...
Did we?
Shut up, Neil.
Okay.
And I just want to talk to the kids for a second and say that, like, if you're feeling a lot of pressure to have sex in high school right now, my advice is take AP classes. Because I guarantee you the people who are pressuring you the most to have sex, they're not in advanced placement classes.
So Jennifer, did Raskolnikov's dream about beating the donkey represent more his contemptible view of society? Or was it more about how he sees himself and his nihilistically destructive tendencies? Also, BT Dubs, have you and Jared f***ed yet?
Dude, you get a bead from your girl yet? Also, isn't advanced calculus like the tits?
It's a hard question of, when is it appropriate to first start having sex? And admittedly, 14 is objectively pretty gross. You could wait a little bit longer than that. As far as when, what's the exact right age to start, I gotta say, I don't know, it's different for everybody.
Yeah, I know. It sounds like kind of a cop-out answer for us to say, but like legitimately, it's different for everyone. You could be feeling it like right then and there. It might take someone a few years to feel it. Like there's no right age for someone to start feeling those feelings. But also don't let people pressure you into that.
That's right, Neil. But do you think kids today need a Lifetime made-for-TV movie to tell them to not boink anything with a pulse when there's a syphilis outbreak?
No, that's straight stupid.
Hot, hot, hot. Our cello player's hot too. Hot, hot, hot.
What did people do back then, before sex?
Storks?
Are they extinct? Okay, a better question. Did they even exist?
I think they ate babies.
Are they a liberal myth?